My name is Ramon Ray, speaking way too fast. Ramon, slow down. Ramon, slow down so the world can understand you. Hope everyone is doing okay today. We are live streaming on video across a variety of platforms, X and LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube and beyond. And then, of course, we're here on our main channel here, Breakfast with Champions, live streaming on the social audio app here with my co-host today. And I don't know if Lanika Johnson's going to join us today, but Robert Kennedy, how are you, brother? Good to see your smile, those who are joining us on video, and good to hear your voice. And momentarily, when I be quiet and give you space to say something, good morning, Robert Kennedy.
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
I wish you'd have said that longer so I could have finished my coffee, but I'm doing well. I'm doing good. I am blessed. I woke up.
I did it on purpose. I saw the coffee cup coming up to your mouth. I was like, let me get him. Let me get him.
Of course you did. But I woke up. I didn't wake up late today. I woke up actually on time. But for whatever reason, Robert, I'm working on a course. So I got uploading it and doing some things I'm trying to work on. And I didn't have breakfast. And I know the hour we're going to be here together, I don't want my stomach to growl. You know, it's just not cool. So I stuffed a piece of bread in my mouth. I got some cut up apples behind me, which I feel I can't reach because another cord's pulling on me, but I do have my Cafe Bustelo, which, Robert, side note, I was not well for a few days, as you know, about a week or two ago, and I hadn't drinking coffee for a few days, several days, and I didn't feel like having it, Robert, but I decided I just like the warmth, and I decided to go back to drinking coffee, Cafe Bustelo once a day, so here I am. But Robert, tell us how you are, tell us how you're doing, tell us the last few things have been going on with you last few days, and introduce yourself to the people, and we'll begin the Celebrity CEO show.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing fantastic, brother. I'm getting ready to get in the stage that you are. When you introduce yourself, you often talk about your adult children. I'm getting ready to have one graduating from college in a couple of weeks, in about a month, about 5 weeks or so. So we're getting ready for that. We are been speaking quite a bit, and so now I'm in a season of 2 weeks or so where I get to downshift and relax and rejuvenate just a little bit. And also getting ready to launch a summit at the end of April called the Amplify Voice and Video Influence Summit. And so, yeah, we're working. We're doing all the things, man.
And you're in the right place. Amplify Voice and Video Summit. And by the way, Julie Loken needs a babysitter. She's in Orlando, Florida at Disney World. So if you want to go there today and watch her kids for her, since you have nothing else to do with your time, you're welcome
Yeah,
to.
absolutely. Come on, Julie. You just pay for my flight. I'm there. Let's go. Come on.
I need you. I'll pay anything right now.
And Julie wonders, why is Robert not here? The kids, mommy, going down the slides. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray, the Celebrity CEO. This is Breakfast with Champions. Glad to have you all here. And I'm going to pause a bit and do some shout outs to people in the audience in case anybody wants to join in. Robert and I have a full packed show today, as some of you may know. Just to reintroduce again, repeat it, Robert Kennedy is a foremost communicator, speaker, trainer, communicator. Those of you who are working in corporate America and want to speak, communicate better, see Robert. Those of you who are entrepreneurs, want to speak better, communicate better, see Robert. Those of you who had a story to tell and you're like, you know what, I'd love to possibly monetize that or do more with it, see Robert Kennedy III. You can see him across all the platforms at Robert Kennedy III. My name is Ramon Ray. You can just see me at celebrityceo.com. I'll figure out what my pitch is going to be. And Stars Tina is on video, and Stars Tina is here on the BWC side. Again, Mary Kim, thanks for being here every day. Brian, good to have you here, brother. Natalie, Adrian, the LinkedIn queen. Stars Tina, haven't seen you in a minute. That's probably my fault more than yours, but I know you're busy and doing the things you got to do. Daryl, glad to have you here. I glad to have you here. Terry and Coach and C. Marie, thank you for being here on video. Najami's cooking some food. I don't know what you're cooking, but I'm sure it's good. Judith and Sonia and Stacy's here. Rivet, Maria, good to see your face here, Maria, and glad how you're doing amazing things in the world. Chima, good morning. Thanks for always being here consistent. John, good to have you here, brother. Podcast extraordinaire and more. Favor, the SEO specialist. Julie Loken, who is Queen Disney for the next few days until she gets back to being Queen PR and Creative Con host. Tony, glad you're here. Trisha, Health, Ramon, and Mary Lynn, of course, who run this community. Glad you all are here. Anybody wanted to say anything today? Greet, say anything, get anything off their chest before Robert and I dive into the topics of the day. I'll pause for 2-3 seconds. I don't pause long, everybody, because I just
want to say good morning. I'm so glad to see you and hear you. Happy day. Woo!
Stars Tina, happy day to you. What have you been up to, Stars Tina? Give me a quick update on your world. What you been up to?
He has got me so drilled down. I did 20 and 5-day. I'm so focused. I renamed my business from Elite Stars to Elevate 360. So focused. Can't wait to see you in June.
Wow. Elevate 360. And can you, if you have time, you have 2 more minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Elevate 360.
And who do you serve? And then, Robert, I want you to ask Stars Tina 1 or 2 questions that make her uncomfortable. Go ahead.
I don't
Let's
think I
go.
like that word serve anymore. You know, people say that. I want to say support, empower,
Well, excuse
support.
me. Sorry. Sorry. Who do you empower?
I partner with elite
Okay.
women who've gone through some type of trauma or tragedy and they need to get unstuck. And I do that with my courses and my workshops and everything.
I love it.
Coaching.
Robert, do you know Startina? Do you know the name at least? You know her?
I know the name. I don't
Okay.
know Stars Tina personally,
Good.
but
Ask her a
yeah,
question or two.
I would love to hear a little bit more. So Ramon said to make you uncomfortable. So I'm going to ask you a question. You're uncomfortable with the word serve anymore. I've also heard the word unstuck quite a bit. What does that mean for you and how do you do that?
Unstuck. Unstuck
Mm.
for me means you're having trouble, you're having difficulty. Specialize in fitness, personal training, you know, and I believe everyone starts with their fitness, the way they look, the way they feel. And I'm hitting this menopause thing, Robert, Lord of mercy, hardest thing in the world. So I support women and help them when they're stuck with their fitness, their finances, their that.
I love it.
Love it. You know what? I would love to hear more about that in the opening piece of it so that I can understand because when I just hear the word unstuck, it's a lot of stuff. But you just said I help them get unstuck in the area of wellness or fitness and finance. Fitness and finance is an alliteration. That's sexy. I like that too. Yeah. Come on.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Stars
Thank
Tina.
you.
I know you're out and about doing your thing. Thanks for being here. Stars Tina's with
Thank you,
us.
Ramon.
You're welcome. Glad to have you here. Anybody else wanted to join in before we move on again? I pause only, Robert, to give people a chance. You and I can do this. We
Yeah.
can just keep moving on for the next 6 hours. But let me
Yep.
pause one more time. Anybody else want to jump in?
Ramon, I just need
Hey,
to know,
Maria.
are you back to Cafe Bustelo?
Why do you have to ask these kind of questions, Maria? Maria Lind, everybody,
The world
realtor
wants to know.
extraordinaire. So yes, Maria, I was down and out for about 10 days in bed, you know, kind of nursing a mild flu, just, you know, not doing the normal things, my normal habits. And when I got better, which was a few days ago, Maria and Robert, I couldn't say I lost the taste, not like lost the taste because people start going down a rabbit hole of taste buds, not that. I guess I was out of the habit of drinking it. I woke up and I was like, I'll have a tea or I'll have nothing. But for some reason, Maria, having that buttered wheat bread, just that the warm coffee, just even now, Maria, as I'm holding it, like it just, I just, it just like, come on, Robert. It reminds me when I was like a little boy, just going down the road. Anyways, Maria, did I answer your question with way too much drama?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So yes, I'm back to drinking Cafe Bustelo. All right, everybody. I'm gonna pause one more time. Then me and Robert are gonna get into the topic of the day. Anybody else wanted to jump in?
Hey, Ramon, good morning, it's health.
Hey, Health, what's going on, Health?
I'm just really grateful that you listen, and I'm curious as to why you're willing to listen and allow input from others.
And how do you see me listening? What does that mean to you?
I think about when you took over the rings of BWC. You ask for feedback, you listen, and
Okay.
most listeners, in my opinion, I was shocked. You listened.
W-
I think
Okay.
people speak for listen.
Well, thank you for that. Well, I'm gonna ask Robert first to touch on this first because he's a communication master. Robert, what does it mean that somebody listens? And I'll answer me personally, but Robert, what does it mean that people listen, and or what happens when they don't listen, or unpack some version to that? Because you are the communication extraordinaire, and my guess, Robert Kennedy, is that listening is a part of being a good speaker. So first, if you don't mind, brother, I'd love to hear from you, and then Health. I'm not getting out of it, and I'm not trying to delay,
Yeah.
but then I will answer your question about me. But go ahead, Robert, talk to us.
Well, listening is not a part of being a good speaker. Listening is a part of being a good communicator and a good connector, right? So I can speak, I can go up and share data, I can chuck stuff at you, but you may or may not take anything away from it. It may not resonate with you. I just spoke. But if I listen, I'm collecting data. I'm collecting information about your experiences, what you love, what you like, what you care about, what challenges you, what hurts you, what makes you feel a certain way, and then I can incorporate that with my experiences and create not just a conversation but connection.
Wow. See, it's like when the pastor says something and the whole church just sits in quietness, reflects. Thank you, Robert. So, Health, I think the reason why I listen, and then Health, feel free to jump back in, and Robert, feel free to, stir the pot a bit as you wish, Robert. But since you asked it, Health, I don't see it in myself. But I think the reason I listen is because, see, now I feel myself getting ready to tear up and cry. But I feel health that I'm a very weak person. And I know as heck I'm not the smartest person in the room. So my season of leading BWC, I leaned heavily, as I recall. But again, Dora Maria, who's not right, I think in the room right now, Mary Lynn and Dora Christina. I think Mary Lynn's the only one of the three in the room right now can testify. I hope. I lean on them. I mean, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I'm asking these three powerful ladies, what y'all think? What should we do? So part of it could be a coping mechanism, but I'd like to think the good part of it is that I do take input. Sometimes I veer maybe too much and not being a decision maker. Sometimes, but I think that anybody who hangs around me knows by God's grace, Robert, I will make a decision and say, Robert, here's how we have to do it. But
Yeah.
I'd be remiss if it even was my partner here, Robert, or with 10 others, if I didn't pause and say, yo, real quick, y'all, what do y'all think? Okay. Oh, I didn't know, Trish, that I was too loud. Oh, Favor, I didn't know she lost her job. Thank you. Oh, Robert, I didn't know that I was too hot, you know? I think that makes a good person. So I kind of always check myself a bit. So Health, I'll come to you first to answer if I help to answer it. Anybody else want to comment on that? And then we'll move forward here.
Absolutely answered it. Thank you so much. And I knew that you would give us some nuggets of wisdom there. You and Robert, both thank you.
Isn't Robert amazing, Health? Like when he speaks, besides the tonality of the voice, but what he says, isn't it just amazing?
He took us to church. I got my ready to drop.
He did. All right. Let me pause one more time. And again, we don't have to get to the segment. Chima, please. I think that was Chima. Was that you, Chima?
Yes.
Talk to me, brother. Welcome. Join.
Ramon knows that's not true, man. When you sent me that email, and you said in that email, I'm a human. I'll reply to you personally. No AI, no bots, just me. That is what triggered me. And since then, I've been reading everything. You know, that gave me the interpretation of listening. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it means you actually are listening to what I'm saying. And since then, you reply to me. That's it for me.
Chima, that is a great point. And Robert, what Chima is referring to in all my emails, and I think you subscribe to some things I do, Robert, but you probably read it like once a year. You probably like put it like off to the side, like after your clients, after your family, after your church.
Oh no, I set aside a calendar time like once a month, and it's just called Ramon time. And I like read all of the emails at once.
Just for Ramon, but what he's referring to, Robert,
time.
is that in my emails, as you may see, a lot of them say, hey, I'm a real human, reply back. Because even, come on, Robert, the email list of 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, if I don't have the time to at least put that little touch in it. And so thank you, Chima, for seeing that. But people have said, Ramon, I appreciate it. They test it like, hi, Ramon. I reply back, hi, it's me. And they're like, oh, it's really you. So I think that human aspect of it's important, Robert. What do you think?
I think it's important. I think it's you know, we've got a world that we've got AI, we've got all of these different options, we've got all of these different technological things, chat bots, etc. And people want to know that they're not just a number, they're not just another product. They want to know that they're cared about.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Dr. Jeannie, good to have you here. Let's begin the show, everybody. Anybody has any comments, feel free to just unmic and say your name loud and clear. But a few things, Robert, I'm going to hit you with one. Robert, I don't know whether to laugh, Robert, or cry about this. It's just a headline. We won't spend much time. I think I'm going to laugh, but it says a China-bound United flight turns around after the pilot forgets his passport. I know we're all human, Robert, but I'm sorry. the whole 400 passenger plane going to China had to turn around because the pilot forgot his passport. There's got to be some mechanism, some secret pilot. I'm validated, but Robert, you can say nothing or anything you wanted to say. I just had to see that headline and say it to you.
I'm asking for a discount. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, this is an extra 2 hours in my day.
Yes.
I'm calling up the airline CEO and be like, dude, come on. You know, you got to work on this for me.
Yes, and I must say I have built-in mechanisms for myself, Robert. I'm guessing you do as well, Robert, as a speaker and traveling all over.
Yeah.
My go bag, I won't say what's in it and where it is, you know, but my bag's set up pretty much that I can grab it and take it, and there's not much I'll forget. It's just you know, some things even have duplicated because I can't afford to do that. Maybe United can, but I can't. My clients will fire me. Can't do it. So.
Yeah, I've got a checklist as well. So if I'm traveling the night before, there's something that I walk through to make sure that I've got everything that I need for that particular trip.
Checklist is important. And also, side note for Robert, I do that for my clothing as well. Not physical, but it's a silly checklist. But I think shoes, socks, pants, underwear, t-shirt, shirt, tie, cufflinks, belt, things like that. As a guy, I just kind of do that. And I've never forgotten anything for years. I just mentally go through, do I have these things? Now, depending on the event, Robert, you know how we roll, jacket or not, or it's an informal event, whatever. So that's me. Big headline of the day, Robert. Again, I don't think you could be a data privacy expert. I'm not, but I just think we can comment on it. 23andMe users worry over DNA data because 23andMe, the place where I think you pay them some money and they send you some saliva to swab in your mouth and go spit into a bag and you mail it back to them. And then they tell you if you think you black, if you really white, or if you white and really Haitian, or if you Haitian and really Irish, or whatever they tell you, your whole genealogy. They're going bankrupt. Now, my understanding, Robert, is that they're still in business. Bankruptcy doesn't mean you close, but bankruptcy means a lot of restructuring, possibly selling of assets, scale. It's not good news. And so you could sell your assets to the highest bidder or best bidder. It's a serious thing. And for 23andMe, Robert, imagine millions and millions of people. I bet Mary Lynn put her swab in there, and Trisha and Chima favor all these people freaking out. Oh, no. Is Robert going to buy our data and start selling it on the, it's not going to be the dark web, but my point is 23andMe is going bankrupt. People are scared. I just thought it was interesting. There's nothing we can do about it, but I have some comments after that. But Robert, anything on that headline before I dive into a bit more on bankruptcy and going public? Anything on that headline?
This was inevitable, my friend.
Okay.
This was going to happen. I mean, from the time that Ancestry and 23andMe and all these sites came out, my wife always looks at things like, no, they're trying to collect our data. They're trying to get all our stuff. And so, this was one of those things where with every innovation, there's always some person that has a nefarious idea on the other side of it. So yes, 23andMe went bankrupt, or yes, the data is out there. But before that happened, there was somebody looking for some way to take the DNA data from 23andMe anyway. So there was that's always been a part of the landscape. And so we think about DNA, but we've been giving people our bank data. We've been giving people our health data. We're putting our health data into our phones these days, our birth dates. We're putting our weight. We're putting, whether we're diabetic or not, we're putting all our stuff out there. So the question is not whether 23andMe will use my data, but how much privacy have we had for the last 50 years?
Yeah. And it annoys me, Robert, when people are like, oh, my data. I say, listen, if you're so serious about this, are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. Great. Delete all your social accounts. Just start right there. Oh, well, but then don't talk to me. You're paying $2 a month or whatever, $20 a night. It doesn't matter to Netflix and everybody else, whether paying or not, your data is out there. So you make a choice. You borrow
Forget the data.
from your neighbor.
People are on social filling out those little surveys. How many states have you been to in your life, or all of these different personal items? How many dates have you been divorced? Check. Have you been? And they're putting all the information out there, but then they get scared about a data breach. I'm like, dude, you already gave them all the data they needed in that one post that your friend posted last week.
Correct. And even the stuff at the mall, Robert, people going by, oh, I get a free car, 1 in a billion chance. Here's my mother's maiden name, my father's maiden name, my brother's thing. I eat tacos and I'm vegetarian, and you give it to Ford. It's not even Ford, Robert. It's some data mining company that bought a $2 car, put it in the freaking mall. See, you got me all sweaty and hot, Robert.
Sorry, dude.
And here's the second point I wanted to bring up, Robert. Listen, just about investors and more. Investing and getting other people's money is great. I'm in, as you know, I invest in a mastermind myself at Lamar and others, and we're thinking of scaling big generational wealth. And that's a game that I'm not saying don't play, but people talk about, oh, I need an investor, I need other people's money. Investors want an X time return on their wealth. Was it 10, 100, whatever, some big number. They want a return on their money. They're doing it for money. And yes, the few percentage people that, oh, we have a new app, we're building the proverbial $1 billion, $1 trillion exit company and making big money. That's a great game. But Robert, I'm telling you, I'll full disclosure. Some people may say, oh, Ramon, that's so small. But if I can be paid, Robert, 150 to 250,000 a year, 300,000 a year, paying myself, those are broad numbers, but I'm talking about what I'd be happy with and or what I've done. And I can build a nice business with a small team, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, Robert. Maybe it's a $800,000 to $2, $3 million business, something like that. I think most people can live quite well and give money and go on vacation 3 times a week and not have the hassle of going public and big. I'm not saying it's not, you shouldn't do it, but that's a game. Be careful. oh, I want to go big, I want to get an investor's money. That's a different game to play. And you may disagree, Robert. So, but I like your input on that thought, getting investors
No,
money.
it is a different game to play, and it's really about the life that you want to create. What is a life that you want to live? I think one, as certain groups of people, certain cultures, we think about money a little bit differently. And maybe it's not just cultures, it may be just financial strata that we think about money differently. At one level, you're talking about, okay, what's the salary? What's the amount that I get in my bank account? What's my gross versus my net pay? And then at another level, you're talking about net worth. You're not talking about salary, because you've built businesses, you've built structures that allow you to write off and expense and create a life where you're not worried about your W-2 or your taxes being affected by those expenses or that particular thing. So, we've got to think about, where am I? What life do I want? And how many strings do I want attached to that life? How many forms do I want to have to fill out for that life? So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You get to choose, and and everything that comes with that choice.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I love that. That's the proverbial word. It is a choice. And again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. Get to know me better at celebritysceo.com. Motivational keynote speaker, best-selling author, and so many other things. If you want to work with me, the best thing I can say, let me get better at this, Robert, my CTA, work with me. If you know big events happening, big or small, ask me to host that event, ask me to speak at that event. And if you'd like to download the Celebrity CEO Personal Branding Blueprint, all about personal branding, check us out at celebrityseo.com, celebrityseo.com. An amazing blueprint downloaded probably by now by billions and billions of people. I think 40 billion people by now, I think it's been. So we shall see. But that's at celebrityseo.com. Robert Kennedy, talk to the people. Tell us who you are, who you serve, who you support, who you can help, why you can help them, who you've transformed. Talk to us about that a bit, and then we'll move to the second half of our program today, Robert.
Yes, sir. Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me. I am the CEO, the president of Kinetic Communications. We work with business leaders and small business owners. We teach them how to tell their stories on stage and on video so they can attract their ideal audience and generate more income. You can get more information about me personally at robertkennedy3.me. All my socials are there, and all the programs that we offer to help small business leaders and owners like yourself get better, more powerful with their communication. You can find that information there. So let's get connected. robertkennedy3.me.
Appreciate that, Robert. Robert is good people. Y'all don't need, well, I was going to say, y'all don't need me to tell you that, but I always remember, Robert, I'm doing what I tell people not to do, that there's always somebody who this could be the first time they're seeing us. First time on a Celebrity CEO show. So I forget that, hey, Mary Lynn's heard us 5,000 times in Favor, and Chima and Stacy and Marie and others. But hey, if you're here for the first time, or you heard it the first time, but you didn't get it, definitely Robert Kennedy is just good people, all things communication, as he just said. So hit him up across social, see how he can work with you. And again, I'd be honored. Check me out at celebrityseo.com. Robert, let's keep moving forward. We just talked about 23andMe going bankrupt again. Sorry for that company. That's never a good thing when that happens to people. I do want to say one thing, Robert, and I'm going to, how I can do this, Robert, not get political, I don't know. So I don't even know if I should say it. So I'm going to say it, but I'm going to hope, Robert, that you either save me or you would just cut the rope and just drop me. One of the two things happen. But here's what I want to say is that, and this is going to get political, people, a bit, but let me just say what I'm trying to say. Secretary of Defense and others put together I think it was Signal, which is a private encrypted system, Signal Chat, and gave some war plans on it. It's been validated. It happened. Somebody asked, what happened? And immediately they went on the attack and said, but look at the others and discredited journalists. I get it. Politics do that. But I guess the thing that bothered me, Robert, again, I know it happens. I shouldn't be surprised, but this is the recent news of the day. Robert, I just don't like that. Let's say, Robert, I'm your champion. I like your policies, Robert. I'm your friend, Robert. I'm rooting for you, Robert.
Yep.
Robert, you and I were driving together. You on your phone and you boop, hit the car. Robert, but she's got a cheap car anyhow. If it wasn't raining, Robert, I like you, Robert. Just say, people, I made a mistake. I should have been paying more attention, ma'am. I'm so sorry. We will move on. So I hope I expressed that well, but it just kind of bit me a bit because I like you, Robert. I understand what you're trying to do, Robert. But see, now, Robert, do you know what I'm trying to say, Robert? Am I making any sense, or should we just move on?
Sort of. I think I understand. So if I were to interpret, you're saying,
Please
listen, if you make a mistake, instead of trying to shock and awe, clouds, and bait and switch, and put distract attention. Just say, listen, I screwed up. I'm so sorry. I won't do it again.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
that's the full way. My point is to be the big boy or big girl. And I'll take it a different example. You're a pastor of the church, and you're trying to take the high road and say we should all be honest. We should all do things. But then I saw that you didn't pick up trash as you were going by. You just shared a message that we should all be together, and you didn't pick up the trash, dude.
Yeah. So here's the other side, or not the other side, but another perspective on that. Sometimes when you're in specific positions,
yes,
I'll say, and part of what you do is that in order to win, you're always digging up dirt, or you're looking for something bad to hit at the other group with. Then the way that you respond is not simply an "I'm sorry." You're always looking for a deflection mechanism, because you don't want that thing to be used against you. So I look at politics, and this is neither left nor right. This is just politics in general, right? I look at politics, and what happens is somebody did something 25 years ago. Maybe that person has become better. Maybe they've changed. Maybe they've done some different things with their life, but it now comes up again as a present thing to say, okay, yeah, don't vote for this person because this person did this. Right? And yeah, that was the person. But yeah, maybe they were 25. They just came out of college and they were dumb. Their brain hadn't fully developed yet. And and they were still succumbing to peer pressure. I mean, listen,
like
the stuff
me.
that I did at 21, 22, 23, my wife made me a better person. She's grown my brain cells and caused me to mature into the person that I am. There's some stuff that I did that I'm like, man, that was stupid. That was idiotic, Robert. Why did you even think about doing that? So to have somebody judge me 3 decades later for that thing, okay, yep. So now you're in a position, you make a mistake, and you're trying to say, okay, let's not give them any data or give them any fodder to judge us with. And so let's try to deflect and let's cover. And, I'm not saying that that's the right way to go. But I do see why the attempt is made.
Robert, that's I'm coming to you right now. That's a great point, Robert. I guess I just wish somehow, and you're right, because, and who's that? Say your name for me.
Ramon, this is Brian.
Hey, Brian, what's up, brother? Why don't you go ahead right now? Good to hear your voice. Brian Swift, and tell people who you are, what you do, and who you serve, if you don't mind, and then jump on in. Let's go. Come on. Welcome, Brian.
My name's Brian P. Swift. I help people drive their human potential. I help them get past their self-limiting beliefs, whatever is holding people or small businesses back. I am an expert at driving that potential that they have inside of them. So
thank you.
You can get hold of me. You can get hold of me anywhere on social media, brianpswift.com, Facebook, LinkedIn. Love to hear from different people. And I'm here to, I will say, serve. I believe in servant leadership. I don't think it's a bad word, but I'm a big believer in servant leadership. You get what you want out of life by helping others get what they want out of life. It's a philosophy that has worked for thousands of years. So love that thought. Ramon,
yes,
question
sir.
for it. Now, you were talking, like, let's forget the political end of that. So you have the example you gave.
Don't get me in trouble, Brian. Brian, do not get me in trouble, Brian. Come on now. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
No, but it's a great segue and a great conversation. So you have that friend who, got in that accident and they went down that hole you talked about, it's a crap car. It was let out. It was blah, blah. Do you tell your friend that is a bad way to address that situation?
Yeah, for sure. I think so. Again, using the case of me and Robert, he's a good person, but it's good to have a visual there. So yeah, I think I would support him. I would have his back. He's a good person. I like him. He's still my friend, if I'm understanding what you're saying, Brian. But then, yes, I most likely would privately tell him, Robert, come on, man. Why you kind of did that. Why don't you just let me go out with you, shoulder to shoulder, and let's just apologize to the lady, bring her some flowers, and let's make it right. What do you think, Robert? So, Brian, what do you think about it? Continue. Back to you, Brian. Walk me through your thought process.
No, I think if you're a good friend, sometimes just like being a good father, good mother, we have to deliver tough messages.
Yeah.
And that's that's that tough love. I think that help friendships get stronger is, calling maybe your friend out, like calling your kids out, and delivering that tough love, but having them, own it.
Yeah.
People have to own what they do and own what they say. And again, none of us are perfect, but this is, I believe, the grace we have to give. And I think it's the grace we deserve, when you own something that, you've done or that you've said that might not have been the character that you truly are.
For sure. And everybody, this is Brian P. Swift. Definitely check him out, see him across platforms. And Brian, I think as Robert said, Brian, that I guess for me, I'm asking for something that probably in the political arena, Brian, is never-ish going to happen because the mud is so thick. The moment you let up, the other side will take it. You can't, me and Robert, sure, Robert can, hey guys, I'm so sorry. We'll all give him grace. Robert, no problem. You made a stupid error, whatever, we move forward. But I guess in the political landscape, it could sink you. You could not win for next. So Brian P. Swift, always glad you're here, brother. Thanks for sharing your input.
There is no grace in the political world or in the media world. They don't want to highlight grace because it's not newsworthy, right? They want, like you said, they want to muddy everything up.
Absolutely. Robert, any thoughts on that response before we move on to what Brian P. Swift said and meet a new friend? Brian P. Swift is one of us. So
yeah, no, I don't have anything additional. I think we're good.
Love it. The car is done. You already apologized. You brought the flowers. You ready to move on. You like it's like Ramon. How long do we string this along?
Listen, I'm gonna start talking about Barack Obama's tan suit in a little while.
Too much. Everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. This is Breakfast with Champions. We are live on the social audio app. Download, those who are watching this on video, download Clubhouse. Clubhouse, the app. You can just Google it or whatever you do with it. Download Clubhouse, the app, and check us out. Breakfast with Champions. Breakfast with Champions live programming, 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, and different programming by different people in different ways, Saturday and Sunday. So my name is Ramon Ray, the celebrity CEO. Definitely my friend Robert Kennedy III, keynote speaker, communication extraordinaire expert, and more. See him across platforms. LinkedIn is probably one of his favorite platforms. Glad you're here. Katish, thanks for being here today. Must listen, I love it. Hear me echo what Katish says. Must have the space to be vocal in friends' life and hold them accountable, correct? Or help them to see the bigger picture. And Katisha saying she agrees with me, Robert, and Brian P. Swift. So Katish, thanks so much for being here today. Thank you for watching us on video. Appreciate y'all being here. Again, as Robert Kennedy and I keep going on, got about 23 minutes to go in this show, and hope you all are liking and enjoying it. Before I get to topics number 2 and 3 and 4, or however many we have, let me pause. Anybody else on the BWC side wanted to jump in? And we got a few things we're going to go over, depending on the time, talking about your inputs reflect your outputs. Why I stopped going live, and I may touch on feeling overwhelmed and stopping to cry. We'll see. But anybody else? Let me pause real quick on the BWC side. All right. Cool. Great. Well, thank you all for being here. Glad.
Well, I'm going to jump in really quick.
Hey, Tina, always.
I know you stopped going live, and I just sent you a link about going live on even more places like Roku and stuff like that, because your show, like I told you before, this is something that's amazing. And perhaps I can see how it could be overwhelming, but you did it for so long. Can you share, are you going to do a little breather? Like,
yeah, well,
I know these people, when they work out, they'll go really hard and then they kind of take a pause. So do you think you're going to go back to doing the lives?
I will share with you the whole story right now, Tina. Stay with us as long as you can, but give me 3 minutes, 4 minutes, Robert, to unpack this, and then definitely bring you back in, Tina or Robert. But so here's the bottom line. So, going live or doing video, doing content, any way, shape, or form is good for all of us. Just a point noting, and Robert, feel free to come back to any of this in a minute here. So these are all things. I talk about this in Celebrity CEO. It builds your brand, builds awareness, and all that. That's one point to the side. But the history of Ramon. One of my visions has been, still is, I would love to be a show host on a big platform. Need not be business, but I would love if LinkedIn News would say, Ramon, LinkedIn News has the top 10 news of the day, where I can do this for LinkedIn, reaching millions of people. And again, I don't need people to DM me, Ramon. It's easy. Mr. Beast did it. Here's how you do it, Ramon. Just be consistent. Listen, there's all kind of, it takes a little bit of luck too. So that's what I would love to do. So I had the chance on USA Today in the December 2023. They said, Ramon, we want you to go live with us and bring your show to us. So I did that with them. Thankful to USA Today. I thought, Robert, it was going to crash my servers. Robert, I thought like you, when you called me, Robert, I thought you'd have to go through 4 secretaries, man. I thought like, done. I thought Tyler Perry was going to ask me to have lunch with him daily. That's what I thought. Nothing happened, Robert. I'm looking for spikes on my IG. Nothing happened for the whole time. Now, it was good, not only for my ego, but good for my brain, Robert. It was literally on USA Today, as you may have seen in others. Stars Team has seen it on USA Today's channel. That's a market distinction, which I have. I think they're still airing episodes, and I still have that. Nobody can take that from me. That is a feather in my cap. Absolutely. USA Today, and I think it was highest rated, but it wasn't serving my needs, Robert, for the uplift. So, Robert, as I said a few times, I was sick for a few days, Robert, and I stopped going live for 10 days. Robert, guess what? Nothing happened. Nobody was outside my door. You know, good friends like Stars Teen and some others. I have followers. Appreciate you all. But to the bigger scale, traffic didn't go down or up. So I said, this live was really just Ramon liking the live feel. That's why thank you, Mary Lynn, for being kind enough to let me do this show here. There's nice to audience engagement. I can see you, Robert, your smile or not going live. There's just something to it for me. Yeah. Everybody's different, right? So that's when I said I made the decision a few days ago, and we'll see what USA Today wants and how that works. But I'm willing to do it if they give me a bigger platform, Robert. Like if I can, like it's on usatoday.com, the mothership, where you can see traffic. That's what I want. But Robert, what I start to do is, you may have seen, again, you and I follow each other as well, is video. Just 3, 4, 5 minute, 7 minute, 10-minute video saying what I want. Hey, I'm trying out a course. Here's what I'm doing. And guess what? I got a badge from Facebook saying you're a top creator. So I'm like going live, just doing content. In this, I don't think we have time to unpack which one works for people because it depends. But Stars Tina, let me give you 2 minutes to respond. Stars Tina, then I'm going to turn it over to Robert to take us through the rest of the show here, however long you want to share on this point. But that's the reasoning, Stars Tina. So let me just get back from you real quick. Stars Tina, anything else you want to comment on that? Is it helpful, my explanation that live is good? I did it. I'm glad I do it. But when I wasn't doing it for 10 days and it didn't make that much of a bump, I'm like, why am I rushing at 7 a.m. to do a live show when I could do it at 7:35, when I could do it at 10 and post a good enough video, for 7 minutes to 15 minutes and post it across all platforms? It looks like it may be working just as well. Stars Tina, let me give you feedback on turn to Robert.
Yes, I love that. I miss you, even though I miss, that you didn't do it, but I loved it. I want it back. I want it back. I think it's great practice for you as well, because, when you're getting on Fox 5 or whatever news station it is, this is great practice for you. So, and I love the little bits, like you said, as well. That's my thought.
No, I appreciate it. I love doing it. And I know I had a loyal following, including you and many others who would, hey, good morning, Ramon. So I may come back, but it's just looking at the bigger picture of my own selfish, in a good way, good selfish business needs. When I noticed it didn't move the dial, I was like, you know what? Maybe there's a better way to do it. But Robert, pull any threads you want, unpack. I know this is right up your alley. You go live, you do video too. So talk to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many different sides to this. If you think about the network shows, maybe like the Good Morning America or the Today with, with Kelly Ripa, Michael Strahan, whoever, right? Do they go live 360 whatever days it is, or 300 and something days minus the weekends, for the entire year? The truth is, no, they have some vacation periods where they leave and they go do some other stuff. And outside of vacations, there are some other commitments that they may have sometimes. And so what happens? They have a co-host or they have a guest host that steps in. So the show still happens at the same time that the audience is expecting it. And the audience still gets fed, but then they still anticipate the return of the host. So that's one way to look at things. I get that is a bigger production model. So there's some different items,
millions and billions of viewers, the whole team. Yeah, but go ahead.
So on a smaller scale, what do I do? Okay, yep, it's still partnership is possible. I may have a guest host stand in. You and I have talked about doing something like that in the near future, right? And the other thing is, for me, I do a show on Monday mornings. sometimes I'm on vacation or I've got to go speak somewhere, so I'm not able to do that live show. I utilize Restream or some other technologies to run a replay or recast a prior episode. You know, and I'll say at the beginning, "Hey, I'm not going to be around, but here's something that was really great from, 2 years ago." People don't have to go to YouTube to check it out. I'm replaying a valuable episode again. So that's another way that I tend to handle the overwhelm or the tired or other commitments.
I love that. And Robert, comment on the aspect, though, also specifically on me stopping going live and just
Yeah.
doing the videos. If you have any input on that, just and feel free to disagree or agree. But I'm curious what you think about my decision, which could change. But as of now, I noticed, to just recap, it wasn't making a bump, it wasn't serving me. So I said, but video is still important. But I realized me live at 7 a.m. It just didn't make a difference when I wasn't doing it for 10 days. So I'd be curious, your professional comments on that. I can get some free counseling from Robert.
It's a yes, and it's what you want to do. There's no rule here. I mean, I think it's you deciding what are the results that you want. If your results are, you know what, I want to see a bump. I want to see some engagement data that jumps. Yeah, okay, cool. Let me find out what causes that to happen. But the difference between live and video, there is something to be said about, okay, yeah, I get some people that say hello to me every morning, and it may energize me
That's right.
for the day, so that the rest of my day I am a better person, or I give better results, or I just show up better that day. That's one thing that I get from going live sometimes. The idea of just being able to talk, and even there are people that are making comments, it may change how I deliver the information that particular day. Doing the video, sometimes I may get distracted by being perfect or doing a retake because I made a mistake or something of that nature, and then I've got to do a little bit of editing. Live, I don't need to do that. So, it's with everything in life, whatever choice you make, there are something gives, right? If you do this, this changes. If you do this other thing, that changes. So what are the consequences, or what are the what's the word that I'm looking for? What are you willing to deal with? What problem do you want more? That's ultimately what this comes down to.
Yeah, no, I love this. And Katisha has a beautiful, substantive post here, and I love the one aspect she says, or he says, Katish, thanks for being here, Katish. Is let me just, it's hard to, but just when I began making over. Bottom line is, when I begin to turn the business towards me, my business grew. That's what the comment there says on Facebook. So, Katish, glad you're here. Thanks for doing that. Stars Tina asked a great question. Again, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray, the Celebrity CEO. Get to know me better at CelebrityCEO.com. Hanging out with the co-host of the Celebrity CEO show, Robert Kennedy III. See Robert Kennedy across all platforms. Robert Kennedy III, Robert Kennedy 3. Me. That's me. No.
Yep, RobertKennedy3.me.
Me, yes. And of course, LinkedIn is very active. More see him if you want to be a better communicator, or you want to be a worse communicator. He probably has a service somewhere like that, like, / be a worse communicator. Pay him to speak better. Robert's thinking like,
That's
make
bizarre
$100,000
communication. Like, yeah, I could reverse.
yeah. I did an episode once on BWC. See, people, when you laugh at yourself, that's why I can carry a show for hours. I don't need nobody else. It was called Breakfast with the Losers, Robert. It was my best show ever. I shared 22 ways to suck at life and lose at life. I loved it. To this day, I loved it. Anyways, where was I at? Stars Tina asked, you like that, right? See, you're thinking of that.
I love it.
See?
Yes.
Stars Tina asked, and I'm going to have you go first. I have a very particular answer here. Do you think standing up or sitting down is best when doing video? Love your question, Stars Tina. You're always asking questions that other people are thinking, and or that you're just curious. What others think? So, Robert, what say ye about standing or sitting when doing video?
Oh my gosh. These binary questions are getting me, man. It's a yes and.
That's why I asked you first.
It depends. I'm standing right now.
Oh, okay.
Because because it's the morning, and I just wanted my energy a little bit different. Not that I don't have energy when I sit down, but my vibe is a little bit different. When I'm sitting down, part of the reason I sit down is because I may be demonstrating some things. There's some things at my desk that I want to have more relaxed access to. I may want to lean, it depends on what I'm doing. I don't. I think it really depends on your energy and your awareness of the energy that you're bringing, no matter what position you're in. Yes, standing does cause people to shift side to side depending on what your health situation is, or your strength, your core strength, etc. But it's what result do you want? What energy? How do you want this video to reflect, or the energy that you want the video to reflect for your audience? You get to determine that. I don't know whether it's what is best.
Yeah. No, I love it. And Stars Tina, this is why I like having Robert as a co-host. He is so humble, Stars Tina. He is so humble. Let me tell you the real reason why he's standing. The real reason why he's standing. He's got a fancy desk that goes up and down. He's got 6 cameras shot. He got music. He's got a see. He's now. I didn't need you to show off, Robert, like that. I'm trying to uplift you and trying to honor you. Now see, he just showing off all the stuff. So, Stars Tina, this is why the man has the choice. Why he can stand. I could do all that stuff too. And as Robert may know, I started during COVID to think about it. I just got too tired. I looked into all that, but I said, you know what? I am not Robert Kennedy III. Now, and I think it was who was our friend Phil Jones. During COVID, he showed us like videos of his new studio and all that. And I tried all. I know all the equipment, but I'm like, you know what? One day maybe, but I also have a smaller room. I share the room with my wonderful wife as well. Her office is in here. So my point is, to answer your question from my perspective, Stars Tina, I think it's great if you have the choice to do both. The reason I don't, it's just I'm definitely not going to manually move equipment all around to sit and stand. Too much for me during a day. But in the case of Robert, real or metaphorically, just lessons learned for all. If you can set up your studio to make it easy at the touch of a few buttons to change things, why not have both? So that's for me. Last thing I'll say, but again, Robert has various camera angles. So if you only have one regular camera, the reason why I wouldn't stand is because I'd shift too much and move, and then the camera may not be where I want it. In his case, he can do some things to do that. So that's
well, the cameras in my case are attached to my desk. So when my desk moves up, the camera moves up. So it's we set it up, Ramon. We had it architected.
Oh, and this is great. G, you won the $10,000 studio. Oh my goodness, I want that studio. You proclaim it. You can have it. Robert Kennedy is packing up a duplicate studio today. So, right, no, it's not happening. But those of you who want a studio from Robert, maybe he'll do a challenge, like enter the $10,000 Robert Kennedy III challenge, brought to you by one of my brand sponsors or our sponsors, Robert. Maybe we do something like that. That would be Yeah, but Robert's been doing this for a minute, Stars Tina. I see your question in there. Yeah, he's been speaking and doing all he's doing for a number of years, and esteemed, award-winning, all the things that he does. All right, Robert, let's move to a different topic here. We got about 9 minutes to go. Anything, brother, you wanted to mention or talk about before we move on? Thanks for allowing me to run the show, but I figured let me just ask Robert. We good? Anything you wanted to?
No, we're good. I mean, I see the questions about studio stuff. I mean, I actually do have a course on how to do that. So if anybody has questions about it, just go to my robertkennedy3.me and connect with me from there.
Definitely. So there we go. Robert has a course on that. And you were saying, and Robert goes live Monday mornings as well. What time do you go live, Robert?
7 a.m. Same time you were going, man. So
that's right. That's right. That's how we didn't see each other. That's right.
Yeah.
7 a.m. Robert Kennedy. 7. It seems like 7 and 8 are good times. Many of my friends, our mutual friends, go live at 7. They go live at 8. So definitely check out Robert Kennedy. 7 a.m. He has his own live thing he does, which is really good. You can hear more of his voice and hear more of his wisdom. So we just touched on, for those who just joined us, why Ramon Ray stopped going live. And Stars Tina, to your point, I may go back to going live, but again, it didn't suit me. And for what I'm doing, I'm realizing my static, manual, on-demand, whatever videos that I may do daily-ish, but they're usually 3 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm seeing something happen. I don't know exactly what, Robert, but like the engagement, the views is about the same or more, is my point for me, than I was going live. And it's just simpler, so for now. And I just wanted to touch on one thing. Again, I probably shouldn't save this to the end, Robert, because it's deep. But I'm curious, and has anyone, I don't want everybody to do, Robert, the pastor says.
I feel like this is not going to be that deep when you say that.
Oh, snap. Okay.
No, see, Mary Lynn knows me very
up.
well. She has rocked me for a while, but in this case, Mary Lynn, it is going to be deep, Mary Lynn. But you are right. Most of the time, Mary Lynn knows. I'll be like, I do this on interviews, Robert. I'll hear people, executives that we know, nice brands. So Robert Kennedy of Big Company X, we're going to get a little political. Color drains from their face. And I'd be like, is email marketing still important? Oh, I'll go. But no, here's what it is, Marilyn. Really, and Marilyn, feel free to join in. Robert, join in here. We got about 7 minutes
Yeah.
to go. But I was feeling overwhelmed, Robert, about a variety of things. Just overwhelmed. And I had a period of time, Robert, which lasted for 30 minutes. I just started crying and crying and crying. And I think I had to self-release. Just I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I just had to release, just had to. And I'm not going to get into the details of why I felt overwhelmed, just sometimes life, business, pressures. But I do that a few times a year, not a few times a month, but a few times a year. Sometimes I'll just be like, man, I get a break. It could be something simple like, Robert, you take the car to change the tires and they tell you they got to change the engine block too. At the same time, your daughter calls and says, hey, the check didn't cash for this. And at the same time, wife calls and said, by the way, you got ginger, not garlic. And you're just like, ah. So I just wanted to share that, and curious, feel free to put in the chat, anybody. Robert, I want to get your comments on that. Put it in the video comments, and we'll try to leave some space. But has anybody gone through that where you just felt overwhelmed? So I just felt like sharing today that I went through that, Robert, just a few days ago. I just was overwhelmed. So let me pause, Robert, because I know we got short time. But does that
Yeah.
make sense what I'm trying to say? Have you gone through, or do you understand what I went through, Robert, at all?
Yeah, I absolutely have. I admittedly, and I'm going to be vulnerable here for a second, I don't cry that often.
Mhm.
And part of that is, the whole man thing that was embedded when I was young. Men
Sure.
don't cry. And so, oh, there's balloons, bubbles. Okay. And so we've had to kind of work on that. But yeah, I do have moments where I have so much stuff happening, and and what happens is I need to man, I need to call a therapist right now. I
Mm.
need somebody just to throw up on. I need somebody just to get all of my stuff out because I don't know how to process everything that's going on. And sometimes the way to process it is just to let it out through your tears.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think all of us have some of those moments. We all deal with it differently.
Mhm.
But yes, I too have had moments where everything felt like it hit all of the wrong stuff was happening
Yeah.
at the same time. And I'm like, why is this moment happening?
Yeah.
Why is this, does anybody else can somebody else take these problems right now? Because I don't
Yes,
want it.
Robert.
I don't want it.
Yes, that's like I wanted to just go back and be a baby, as it were, for 20 minutes. I just wanted to
Yeah.
close my eyes and not have to worry about getting food or shopping. Just you're sitting and mom brings the graham crackers. You don't know how much it costs,
Yeah.
where it came from. You didn't even shop it. It just, here it
Yeah.
is. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Well,
wanted to
let me add this in.
please.
So one of the ways that I'm dealing with that, some people say it's you got a regular appointment with a therapist, but one of the ways that I deal with that is having some alone time as well.
Mm,
So when I say that,
that's
it's
right.
not just I need to go sit down in my living room. I schedule some personal retreats several times a year, and I've got to have at least a 24-hour period. So I'll go away like on a Saturday afternoon, go to an Airbnb somewhere else, and then I'll have all day Sunday by myself to do anything or nothing, and then I'll come back sometime on Monday. So, it's just space. It's just space away from life and everything else. So sometimes, yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Robert, again, I don't know if you have a hard stop coming up in 3 minutes, but I know we don't have anything after this, so I may extend a little bit in the room on the BWC side only. But I see here G says that she's talking about my solution: spend more time with my grandkids and family. And Robert, thank you for sharing that. I wanted to underline that. I think you shared
Yeah.
it before. I should do that more, probably just some me time, some away time, some alone time to think. I see here in the
Yeah.
chat, Robert, on the BWC side, Dr. Vu is chiming in here. Went through that last week, and purge is vital. Nicole's affirming this, or underlining that, and Wendy's talking about that. Wow, yeah. So looks like Chris is talking about that. Wow. So this is hitting that many people identify with this. And again, in fairness, guys and girls, oftentimes there's not a bad thing. We're just different. Guys and girls express emotions differently. It
Mhm.
predominantly girls are more in touch with their warmer side or crying side or whatever, but I think we all go through it. I happen to be a guy, I can cry pretty easily if the wrong words or scenarios are done, but I get what you're saying, Robert. Most guys cry a little less than the ladies may do, but we all can be emotionally drained, emotionally hurting. How we express it may be different. Let me get one or two comments on the BWC side, and then Robert, I'd love you to close our show out, and I'll go back on the BWC side and shut the video in about 2-3 minutes. But BWC, anybody wanted to share anything with us here? And then I'll come back to the stage in a minute after I close the video, but I want to give time for anybody else who wanted to share right now.
It's Marilyn.
Hey,
Good
Marilyn,
morning.
jump in.
I was going to say, there's something to be said for I'm a tough, single, independent woman. And then sometimes I'm like, I just want somebody to bring me breakfast in bed.
Yes.
Damn it. I'm a strong, independent, single woman. There's nobody to bring me breakfast in bed. But you know what happens to me, Ramon? It usually is something, I'm kind of a little bit accident prone. And the trigger will normally be for me if I trip or fall, which happens like once a week, which is crazy. But I have like a depth perception, foot like issue. And so the other day I just tripped over the air, and I had made a bowl of pudding, and it was on my face, in my hair, on the door. The fork that I stirred it with as a whisk stabbed me in the hand. Like my knee hurt. Somebody had knocked on the door. I know they heard me, and they were like, it was the wrong knock. I know. I'm like, no. It's usually to that point where, for some reason, I can be a lot of mentally tough, and then all of a sudden, something physical will handle me, or I start crying when I'm really can't express myself because it's a frustration of not knowing how to express my words, and people think I'm upset, but it's more of a frustration. So, I think my crying and those moments, I can be really strong and independent, but it's when I get to the point where I don't know how else to get it out, and it's a good cleansing. So yeah, just the other day I was like, I'm so exhausted. And that's, I think, when I fall or I trip, and then I have pudding on my face and in my hair, and I'm just like, what are we adulting for? I'm exhausted. Just, I want to just somebody
Cry in a bowl.
In bed. Yeah.
Nah, Marilyn, I totally get it. And I'm going to come back and extend this conversation on the BWC side solo here. But Robert Kennedy, close us out on video. Let me give you the last word. And as soon as you give that last word, I'm going to hit end stream.
Yeah. I just want everybody to, as I think the theme of the show in some way, shape, or form has been courage, being courageous. And that courage involves being vulnerable. And the reason that a lot of us are not vulnerable is because we spend most of our lives trying to avoid pain. And the truth is, pain is a part of life. If you don't have pain, then you really won't understand joy, because they're the flip sides of each other. So make sure that you view life in totality. Expect joy, expect pain, and really look at all of those as a holistic thing. And when you have pain, when you have moments of being overwhelmed, choose to share, choose to open up, choose to be vulnerable, because somebody else has gone through the issue or the challenge that you have, and you choosing to share may just be the impetus that they need, or it may just provide them the courage to share as well. So you may be the key to transforming their lives because you were courageous. So that's what I want to end with this morning. And hey, y'all, give yourselves a little bit of grace.
I love it. Robert Kennedy, Ramon Ray, thank